I kept telling myself that everything was my fault. I felt like everyone would point at me and blame me for whatever was going wrong. I worried that I looked like the problem, as if I had done something terrible without even realizing it. Those thoughts stayed in my mind for a long time, and they kept getting louder. 4 years, the show 7 Little Johnstons on TLC was seen as a warm and comforting look at a family that many viewers found relatable, funny, and inspiring. The Johnston family had shared their lives openly, and people felt attached to each member. But recently, something has felt different. Fans started noticing changes, especially when it came to Anna Johnston. She was one of the most loved members of the family, someone viewers watched grow up, learn, struggle, and find strength. But slowly and quietly, she began to pull away. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was subtle, something you could easily miss unless you were paying close attention. But for those who followed her journey closely, the signs were there, and each sign seemed to raise more questions. People first noticed this shift through her social media posts. She went from being present in group photos and family updates to being missing from moments where fans expected her to appear. There were family celebrations, small gatherings, fun events, and behind-the-scenes clips where everyone else was smiling together, but Anna wasn't there. Fans wondered why. They looked through comments, watched the episodes more closely, and started connecting pieces. It wasn't long before discussions online grew louder as more people realized that something had changed between Anna and the rest of the family. Then came the moment that truly caught everyone's attention. TLC posted a TikTok featuring a funny comparison between the older generation and the younger generation in the family. Almost every family member appeared in the video. But Anna wasn't there. Viewers immediately noticed. It didn't help that the video was light-hearted and included siblings and parents joking around, which made Anna's absence feel even bigger. When Anna commented under the post saying, "Oh, her favorite daughters. You see how I'm not in them," it sent shockwaves through the comment section. The remark was short, but it held so much emotion, hurt, frustration, and a feeling of being left out. Millions of people liked the comment because it echoed what many had already suspected. Anna was feeling excluded, and it wasn't an accident. Her absence wasn't just a small oversight. It seemed intentional. That comment became a turning point. Fans started paying even closer attention, and many felt protective of Anna. They wanted to understand what she was going through and what had caused this distance. Some remembered how she had spoken before about struggles she faced growing up. Others recalled her talking about how certain family situations made her feel uncomfortable or overshadowed. People began going back through old episodes, re-watching scenes, and examining old interactions. They noticed small moments that felt different now, moments where Anna looked uncomfortable or quiet, moments where she seemed left out of family decisions, moments where she tried to speak up but wasn't heard the way she hoped. Around this time, Anna also made a major life decision that revealed another layer of the story. She bought her own home. For many young adults, buying a home represents independence, stability, and the beginning of a new chapter. But for Anna, this decision meant even more. It showed her determination to create a life that belonged to her, a life where she could choose how to live, who to spend time with, and how to shape her future without constant pressure or supervision. Her family had always been known for being close, sometimes to the point of being controlling, especially when it came to education, work, and personal choices. So, when Anna decided to purchase a home of her own, it felt like a powerful statement. She wasn't just moving out. She was choosing independence. Fans remembered how she once explained that when she attended the same college her mother did, she often felt uncomfortable. What should have been an exciting experience turned stressful when she felt overshadowed, watched, and compared. That experience stayed with her for a long time and shaped how she looked at her future. Buying her own home, therefore, wasn't just about financial stability. It was about emotional freedom. After Anna moved into her new home, her social media presence shifted even more. She began posting more about her personal achievements, her interests, and her daily life away from the family home. She shared happy moments with friends, experiences that made her proud, and adventures she took on her own. But what she didn't share were family gatherings. She didn't post group photos or fun family videos. She didn't tag her siblings or parents. The space between her and the family became obvious. Fans could feel it. Some sent her supportive messages, encouraging her to focus on her happiness. Others expressed sadness that the once warm and united family fans admired seemed to be going through something heartbreaking behind the scenes. What made everything even more complicated was the timing. The show had reached its 16th season, and viewers assumed Anna would play a big role in it. Many expected to see her new home, her big steps toward adulthood, and the fresh direction her life was taking. Instead, they noticed less of her. She wasn't appearing in episodes the way she used to. She wasn't participating in big family discussions or events. And while the rest of the family continued filming and sharing updates, Anna seemed to be taking a step back, choosing quieter paths, and protecting her peace. It didn't take long for people to wonder whether she was emotionally distancing herself even more than she was physically. Behind all of this, Anna was dealing with her own feelings, confusion, sadness, frustration, and the heavy weight of wondering whether she was truly valued or simply expected to fit into a box. Anyone who has ever felt left out by the people closest to them understands how deeply this can hurt. Family is supposed to be a place of safety, where each person feels seen and heard. But when those feelings fade, the emotional impact can be overwhelming. For Anna, the pressure of growing up on television, combined with family expectations and personal conflicts, created a complicated emotional world. It's not easy to navigate adulthood when millions of people are watching your every move and forming opinions about your life. As she continued to create distance, more people began to notice how calm and relaxed she seemed in her personal posts. She looked happier doing things on her own. She smiled more naturally when she was with friends or focusing on her own hobbies. This made fans even more certain that stepping away from the show and, in some ways, the family environment, might have been the healthiest choice for her emotional well-being. Many supporters expressed the belief that Anna deserved the chance to grow without constant judgment, pressure, or comparison. Even though the exact details of what happened behind closed doors may never be fully known, it's clear that Anna reached a point where she needed change. Her quiet withdrawal was her way of protecting herself, valuing her mental health, and choosing a future where she could make her own decisions. This wasn't an impulsive choice. The signs had been building for a long time. Her buying a home, her absence from family content, her comment on TikTok, and her shift toward independence all painted a picture of someone who was ready to step into her own life. For fans, the situation brought mixed emotions. Many felt sadness seeing tension within a family they had watched for years. Others felt proud of Anna for taking control of her life. Many people who have gone through similar experiences of feeling overlooked or misunderstood connected deeply with her journey. They saw strength in her decision to pull away when needed, and many admired her courage. In the end, Anna's choice to step back wasn't about blaming anyone or causing harm. It was about survival, growth, and the need to create a life where she felt respected and understood. Her story reminds people that even families who look perfect on TV face struggles, misunderstandings, and emotional complications. What matters most is finding peace, setting healthy boundaries, and choosing a path that brings genuine happiness. If Anna continues to focus on her future with confidence and determination, her journey will inspire many others going through similar challenges. Little did anyone realize that when she finally spoke up, even in a small way, it would connect deeply with thousands of people who had been watching the family's situation unfold for years. Many viewers had sensed tension building for a long time, but hearing even a hint of Anna's feelings made everything feel more real to them. Over time, the relationship between Anna and her immediate family, especially her parents, Amber Johnston and Trent Johnston, as well as her sister Elizabeth Johnston, had slowly grown more strained. Fans had noticed changes, but the full weight of those emotional struggles only became clear when private frustrations started showing through on the show. During the season 15 finale, which aired in March, viewers saw Anna looking noticeably unhappy at her own graduation celebration. It was supposed to be a proud moment, something filled with excitement and achievement, but instead the atmosphere felt tense and uncomfortable. When her brother Jonah tried to lighten the mood by asking if she felt excited about graduating, he ended up pointing out how sad she looked. He even said it seemed like she could have been at a funeral instead of a celebration. His comment made it obvious to everyone watching that Anna's feelings were not hidden anymore, and that something deeper was affecting her long before the cameras started rolling. Later in the episode, when Anna spoke during her interview segment, she opened up about the main issue, the difference between how the family appeared to others and what her private experiences felt like. She said that while the family often looked open, warm, and supportive on camera, things inside the home sometimes felt very different. She described how her parents could stay upset with her for long periods of time, but once they decided to move on, they expected her to immediately let go of her own hurt without any real discussion. There was rarely a meaningful conversation, an apology, or a moment to understand each other better. Instead, she felt pressured to simply forget the situation and act as if nothing had happened. This kind of emotional pressure is difficult for anyone, especially someone who grew up on a reality show, where personal issues often had to be pushed aside to keep filming. Anna explained that she had spent years trying to stay calm, smile, and look fine even when she was hurting on the inside. Over time, that became exhausting. The feeling of being misunderstood and held to expectations she couldn't meet took a toll on her, especially during her teenage years when she was still learning who she was. By the time she filmed that confessional, Anna said she had reached a point where she didn't feel the need to meet everyone's expectations anymore. She was living on her own, supporting herself, and making her own decisions as an adult with a college degree. She no longer felt tied to the same patterns she had grown up with. She didn't want to keep playing a role for the show or pretending everything was perfect when she didn't feel that way. But even after setting healthier boundaries for herself, the situation didn't get better. In many ways, it felt even more stressful. This ultimately led her to step back from the show altogether. At one point, she expressed strong frustration with the way she felt she had been treated by her parents and her sister. Her words reflected years of bottled-up emotion and the courage it took to finally speak honestly. For many viewers, it was surprising to hear such direct feelings from someone they had watched on television for so long. For Anna, it seemed like a release, a moment when she could finally stop pretending and start being truthful about her own experience. Instead of continuing to present a happy image for the audience, Anna chose to be open about her personal struggles. She wasn't trying to attack anyone or create drama. She was simply talking about how things felt from her point of view. And for the first time, many people understood just how heavy that silence had been for her. The graduation party situation was only a small part of the bigger issues that had been building within the family. There were several viewpoints involved. For example, when Anna began to pull back and show signs of unhappiness, her mother Johnston shared with producers that the family felt worn out by what she described as emotional ups and downs. She explained that sometimes Anna seemed cheerful and connected for weeks, but then she would suddenly become distant again and avoid talking to the rest of the family. From Amber's point of view, it felt like they were constantly trying to keep up with changing emotions and unresolved tension. But her statement also showed something important. It revealed how much misunderstanding existed between everyone. Even though the family may have had their own struggles, it seemed that the emotional conversations were often incomplete. Instead of trying to understand why Anna felt upset or why certain situations were difficult for her, her reactions were sometimes treated as the main issue. Rather than asking themselves what might be contributing to her feelings or how they could communicate more openly, the response often seemed to be about why she couldn't simply move forward quickly. This raised the question of whether anyone in the family was fully seeing things from Anna's point of view. Feeling unheard or misunderstood can make anyone more distant, and little by little, those emotional gaps widened. Over time, this created enough pressure that Anna eventually decided to step away from the show completely. Another major part of her decision came from the emotional weight of being on television for so many years. Growing up on a reality show is something most people can't imagine. For Anna Johnston, the experience was mentally and emotionally draining. She had been filmed and edited through her teenage years and into adulthood, beginning at age 14. That is an important time in a person's life, when they are still learning about themselves and how they fit into the world. Anna has talked openly about this pressure before. In one social media Q&A, she responded to a kind message from a fan by saying that being on a reality show had worn her down mentally for a decade. It was a simple sentence, but it spoke volumes. It didn't sound like she was complaining about fame or attention. She was describing a real, long-lasting struggle that affected her deeply. One of the things that hurt her the most was how certain scenes were edited. She once mentioned that the way some moments were put together made her feel misrepresented. Editing is part of every reality show, but for Anna, some of those choices made her anxious and upset. She felt like these edits sometimes made her look different from who she really was, especially when she was younger and still figuring out her own identity. When the show first began, Anna was only a teenager, still learning how to handle emotions, friendships, responsibilities, and confidence. At that age, being filmed constantly, having private moments turned into public entertainment, and not knowing how scenes might be arranged on TV could easily affect anyone's self-esteem. Over the years, these experiences added up. What viewers saw as a storyline or an episode was, for Anna, a personal moment that she had to relive again and again on screen. All of these pressures, family misunderstandings, emotional stress, and the challenge of growing up in front of millions eventually became too much. Anna wanted stability, independence, and a chance to be understood clearly, without the weight of past misunderstandings or the influence of television editing. Leaving the show was not an impulsive choice. It was the result of years of trying, hurting, learning, and finally realizing that stepping back might be the healthiest path for her future. Growing up on a reality show meant that Anna Johnston never had the privacy most teenagers get. Instead of working through normal challenges quietly and at her own pace, many of her hardest moments were shown to millions of viewers. The way scenes were edited often shaped how people saw her, and sometimes even how her own family reacted to her. If an episode made her look like she was the one causing problems or not cooperating, that became the version of her that everyone believed. This created a difficult situation where the edited version of her life started to feel more real to others than her actual experiences. Throughout her years on the show, Anna was often shown differently compared to her siblings. Certain scenes seemed to highlight disagreements or frustration, which made her appear as the one who didn't fit in. Some moments on camera, including things said by her parents Amber Johnston and Trent Johnston, were interpreted by viewers as suggesting she was separate from the rest of the family. Early in the series, it was mentioned that Anna came from Russia, and over time this difference was sometimes shown in ways that made her seem unlike her siblings. Even if this wasn't anyone's intention, it added to the feeling that she was being viewed through a different lens. Because of this pattern, moments where Anna showed independence or expressed her own opinions were sometimes misunderstood. Instead of being seen as normal signs of growing up, they could appear on the show as conflicts or challenges. That kind of portrayal can affect how a young person sees themselves. When someone repeatedly hears, whether directly or indirectly, that they are difficult or that they create problems, it becomes extremely hard on their self-esteem. Anna later shared that being part of the show affected her mental health, and realizing how much the editing contributed to her stress must have been very painful. For nearly 10 years, she went through emotional challenges that viewers only saw small pieces of, often without understanding what she was feeling. Looking back now, some scenes that once seemed light-hearted or simple might feel different when considering what Anna has said about her experience. Moments that appeared dramatic or entertaining on screen were, for her, personal struggles that were opened up to the entire world. Feeling misunderstood at home and on television at the same time created a heavy emotional burden. The way episodes were put together sometimes made her look like the one at fault, and when combined with the complicated communication within the family, it took a real toll on her well-being. Her story also reflects a much larger issue in the entertainment industry: how growing up on camera can deeply affect children and teenagers who are still developing emotionally. One thing that has become clear is that Anna's experience has finally started to receive the attention it deserves. Many fans who didn't fully understand her situation in earlier seasons now see her in a more compassionate light. Her absence from season 16 brought even more attention to her story, and some viewers even talked about stepping back from the show in support of her, hoping she would find peace and stability away from the cameras. Anna Johnston became noticeably absent from the promotional teasers and behind-the-scenes content for season 16 of 7 Little Johnstons. This quickly caught the attention of viewers, many of whom were concerned and disappointed. Fans took to social media to express their frustration that TLC had decided to continue the show without her involvement. The reaction was immediate, vocal, and, in many cases, threatening to the show's viewership. Thousands of supporters said they would not watch season 16 if Anna was not included, and some even suggested that the show should be renamed Six Little Johnstons, instead of pretending the family was still complete. For many viewers, Anna had become the heart of the show, the person they felt most connected to and most concerned about. Her absence from the promotional content made the ongoing estrangement in the family even more noticeable and sad. Fans weren't seeing the family come together. Instead, they were witnessing tensions and fractures play out on camera, with Anna effectively removed from the narrative. Some fans and critics speculated that Anna may have chosen to sit out season 16 on purpose, deciding she no longer wanted to be involved with the show. This idea seemed believable given the previous public confrontations, the ongoing family tension, and the clear statements Anna had made about her unhappiness. If she had made the choice herself, it was an assertion of her autonomy and a way to set personal boundaries. Whether her absence was voluntary or influenced by producers and family, the effect on viewers was the same: disappointment and heartbreak. Many fans felt the show had lost much of its magic and authenticity without her presence, and they were unwilling to continue watching without the person they had supported for years. The absence of Anna became even more noticeable during Q&A sessions conducted by her sisters, Elizabeth and Emma, on TikTok. Fans saw the other family members engaging with content and promoting the show while Anna was not included. This reinforced the impression that she had been excluded or had chosen not to participate. Comments from viewers poured in, asking questions like, "Who was the meanest to Anna?" and expressing outrage at how the family treated her. Many longtime fans expressed that they could no longer support the show because of what they saw as unfair treatment. The disappointment was widespread, and the threat of boycotts became increasingly serious. Fans who had followed the show from its earliest seasons felt that the series no longer felt authentic without Anna's presence and perspective. They saw her as the moral center of the show, the one being honest and authentic, even when it highlighted difficulties in the family dynamic. TLC may have assumed viewers would stay loyal regardless of her participation, but they underestimated how invested audiences were in seeing Anna included and treated fairly. In May, Anna went live on social media to announce that she was done filming for TLC. This was a definitive and emotional moment for the fans who had supported her for so long. Many had hoped her absence might be temporary, but it was clear that it was not. Anna had set a firm boundary and declared that she would no longer participate in the show. The months leading up to this announcement had been filled with family drama, and given everything that had happened, her decision felt both understandable and heartbreaking. Even before her official announcement, there had been signs of distance. The family went on vacations without her, and she was absent from celebrations and events where she would normally have been included. When Anna did not attend a birthday party for her niece, Leighton Balden, it became another point of tension. Liz said that Anna had been invited but chose not to attend, while Anna's account suggested otherwise. Fans began speculating about what was happening behind the scenes. Some believed that her relationship with a new boyfriend may have played a role, noting that tensions seemed to increase when personal relationships were involved. Whether or not this was actually the case, it added another layer of complexity to an already strained family situation. The estrangement that resulted from these events remains unresolved. As the show moves forward without Anna, she has made it clear that she is not interested in participating again. There is little evidence that the family has undertaken the kind of emotional work needed to repair the relationships, making a full reunion or resolution seem unlikely. What comes next for Anna, however, may be even more important than what happens to the show. After years of scrutiny, control, and emotional stress, she now has the opportunity to live life on her own terms. She can focus on her mental health, personal growth, and building a future free from cameras and the pressure to perform family harmony. Fans are hopeful that Anna will find the support, happiness, and stability she deserves, and many imagine her pursuing new projects that allow her to share her story. Some have suggested she could write a book about her experience, joining other former reality television participants who have spoken about how growing up on camera affected them. Meanwhile, the Johnston family faces uncertainty. A show built on the appearance of love and unity now has visible cracks, and those cracks are growing. The family will have to decide if they can repair their relationships and move forward in a meaningful way. As 7 Little Johnstons enters this new chapter without Anna, one thing is certain: the show and the family dynamic will never be the same. Her departure has changed the foundation of the series, and the question remains whether anything can be repaired or if the division will become permanent. For Anna, the future offers a chance to heal, grow, and live on her own terms, free from the pressures and scrutiny of reality television. Her journey reminds viewers that personal well-being and autonomy are more important than performing for the cameras, and it leaves a lasting impression on fans who have followed her story for years.